So I just had this conversation with a customer of ours. He has been made redundant from his job. The economy being what it is, who he works for has decided actually they're going to lay him off. And the guy we were chatting to is a window cleaning customer of ours, and he was asking me my advice about sort of starting a small business. Now, it's interesting. The small business he wants to start is gardening, which is something, I'll be honest with you, I know absolutely nothing about. And but there are a couple of there's a lot of crossover between people starting small businesses, irrespective of what they are. And we had a conversation for the best part of like 40 minutes, just talking about, his options and all this sort of stuff. And he was like, well, I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't have the other, and I don't really know much about this, and maybe I need to sort of sit down and sort of, work out what exactly it is I need. And he got into this analysis paralysis where it's just sort of everything, everything hits you all in one go. And he's trying to effectively digest. He views knowledge as, and I think a lot of people do this, and I was certainly one of them. When I was younger, definitely, people view knowledge as like knowing everything about something before you can make a start. So a bit like when you say you're learning to drive, you don't learn how to drive, bang, all in one go. Generally speaking, most people will learn piecemeal. They'll learn about the clutch, they'll learn about how to maneuver at small speeds, parking car parks, etc. You wouldn't then take that person from parking in a car park nice and slow, steady learning, right, motorway, bang, you know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. And it's the same when you run a business. Don't wait to know everything before you start. Because here's the thing, I run a business and many other people run businesses, and I can almost guarantee you, I don't know everything about business. I don't know anybody that knows everything about business. They know what they're good at, they know what they specialise in, they know what they're passionate about, they know what they feel they need to know and learn. But I don't care how good you are, you don't know everything. And I think a lot of people, myself included, used to look at people who are business owners and think, God, they've got to have all their shit together. They must know everything. They must know the ins and outs of everything, all these intricacies, and that's the problem. I think there's a lot of gatekeeping where it comes to information and for people starting businesses and such. There's a lot of people that think that, people that run businesses are special, and they're not special. They just are prepared to sort of, they're prepared to make a start. You don't have to be perfect to get going. You just need to get going to learn more and more and more and more. And rather than looking at it as chapter and verse, must learn this before I do that, I must have this before I do that, it's no. And he's making all these excuses. He was talking about how he doesn't have this piece of equipment, he doesn't have that piece of equipment, he doesn't have a lawnmower, X, Y, and Z. And he just asked me sort of how I got started and stuff like that. And I says, well, the thing is, you don't have to have everything to get started. You just need a handful of things. And one of the things was suggested to him, because he mentioned he didn't have a lawnmower or anything like that, and he wanted a proper good petrol lawnmower to sort of do a good job, and one with a roller and stuff on the front. And I says to him, well, why don't you put adverts and leaflets out in houses and stuff like that, and explain to people, look, you're just starting up. Find someone that you know, like, and trust, and see if they've got a lawnmower that they can lend you. And the condition of which they would lend you that lawnmower is that you'll cut their lawn for free. So for example, like, all right, I'll cut your lawn for free. Could I borrow your lawnmower for the day? Most people, if you ask them, and they have the equipment to give you, if you are a good person, if you're good to them, they're more likely to reciprocate. You will find someone out there that will help you. I had a window cleaning system that I no longer needed, a little trolley system, etc. I gave it away. It was like 1,200 pounds worth of gear when I bought it, brand new, with a pole and everything. I just gave it away. But I gave it away because I had no use for it. And yeah, sure, I could have sold it, but I thought, well, this young lad could benefit from it. I don't need it. It's taking up room in my garage. You can have it, mate. I don't need it. To be fair, it was one of those fiberglass poles was like wobbling like anything. It's not something I would use anymore. But you know, there's always someone out there that's prepared to sort of help you. Don't wait till you have everything. And again, it translates to what I've said previously about people that want to start water or window cleaning business. Do not fall into the trap of thinking, I've got to have everything. I've got to have this all singing, all dancing piece of kit. I've got to buy the van, and I've got to buy all the pumps and all the reels. No. Just start off with a bucket. If you're not sure, just start out with a bucket. Keep it simple. Because it's a lot easier to sort of, you could put your ladder and bucket in the shed if it doesn't work out. But if you invest all that money in a system and you've no idea how to gather customers, the most important thing I would say about anybody starting a business is not the amount of gear you have, it's not the amount of kit you have, it's not the kind of kit you have, it's simply your ability to gather customers, your ability to find people that will invest in you so that you can solve their problems and get paid for it. That's it. It's not rocket science. And there's a lot of people who sort of sit around and they'll go, oh well, gatekeep on information. It's it's one of those. And it's dead easy for me to sit here and say that now, but I observe this in people that really, really want to start a business. But they have such analysis paralysis. They don't know where to start, because the irony is that, in an age where the internet exists and all the answers you need are on your phone, there is an absolute abundance of information. But we've become a society of people that won't ask questions. They won't reach out to people who might know better. They won't sort of take the risk of looking stupid by asking a question. Don't ask, don't get. And here's the thing, if you do ask and get told to sod off, eventually you'll get the answer you're after. What I would say is, to anybody that wants to start a business, whatever that is, the biggest thing you'll do yourself a favour with is talk to as many people as possible about what it is you want to do, right? And if you're a good person and you're not a shit house at the bottom of you, then ultimately you will find enough people who are prepared to invest in you for you to get going in a business. I guarantee you now, if I walked into an area where I have no contacts whatsoever, and I built up a relationship over time with the people in that area, and I sort of said to one of those customers, can I borrow your lawnmower? I want to start cutting grass. Can I borrow your lawnmower for the day? I'll cut your grass for free, but I'll use it to cut your grass for free, and I'll bring it back and all this sort of stuff. And if I break anything, then I'll pay for it. Okay. If you did that, I'm fairly certain that someone somewhere would say yes. And then you're laughing. You've got a lawnmower. And then all you've got to do is go around and start gathering work. That's the hardest part about running a business, is actually getting off your ass, speaking to people, and putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Because the worst thing that can probably is likely to happen to you is that you'll feel a bit of a prat speaking to people. Get over yourself. You don't speak to people, then they're not going to come to you. They certainly won't come to you. Muhammad will not come to the mountain. Muhammad goes to the mountain, not the other way around. Yeah, it's one of those. You've got to reach out and take what opportunities you have. But there's a lot of people, and it's not entirely their fault. The school system in this country will encourage people to. It will encourage people to have opportunities come to them rather than they go out and get opportunities. When you're self-employed, nothing will come to you unless you put yourself in a position where you can be found. And here's the thing, if you don't go out there and gather customers, you're not going to have customers. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. So again, I repeat myself, the biggest asset you can have in a business is you. If you will knock on doors, you will get customers. Not everyone will say yes, and it is a numbers game, and there'll be days where no one says yes. But eventually, you'll get to a point where you'll build up the confidence and communication skills to thrive and succeed. And here's the thing: you don't need all the kit to succeed. You just need to be able to start. You don't need to be perfect to start. But if you don't start, you'll never get perfect, and you'll be in that doom loop of forever hoping that opportunity one day I'll start a business. Well, when is that one day? When is that opportunity going to come your way? It's not. If you sit on your ass and wait for the right time, there will be no right time. There is no right time to start a business. Here I am in October. It is October 24th, right? We have gone out today and I have picked up 13 customers in October for window cleaning when it's been absolutely tonking it down with rain. I'm absolutely drenched wet through, as you can see. Yeah, I'm absolutely drenched wet through. But here's the thing, is persistence and consistency is all you need to get going. I've signed up window cleaning customers in the middle of winter, or just at the beginning of winter. It's absolutely smashing it down with rain. But here's the thing, if I'm the only window cleaner that's in that area knocking doors, then people will go, well, if he's what's name cleaning windows in this weather, he must be reliable. You know, when people sort of turn around and say, "Oh, do you clean windows in the rain?" And it's like, well, yeah. What do you do when it rains? I'll put a coat on. You know, I'm not made of sugar. I'm not going to dissolve when it starts raining. It's like, no. You know, a lot of people go to work in the rain. So I'm no different. I am no different. But having that mindset of saying, you know, of being, again, it goes back to being consistent. It goes back to persistence. You know, consistency. You know, if you're consistent and persistent, you'll win. Just, you know, learn communication skills, learn how to talk to people, learn how to not sell. You don't have to sell. You just have to solve problems. Because people have problems, and if you can solve those problems, you can get paid for that. It's not. It's about as hard or as easy as you want to make it. So, you know, don't wait. If you're sat there thinking, you know, should I start a business? Should I not? Is it a good time to start a business? I started a window cleaning business January 2015, I think, 2014, 2015, something like that. And now I had a ladder and a bucket. The ladder was borrowed. Well, actually, the ladder was a gift from a retired electrician. The bucket I found in a skip, and I bought a squeegee and an applicator and some cloths. You know what I mean? You know, and again, the most expensive thing at that point that I was looking at buying was a ladder. And very fortunately, because I had the communication skills and because I had the confidence and because I was, yeah, all right, that confidence was driven by desperation. Let's get it straight, 100%. I was desperate. But here's the thing, I was as desperate to succeed as I was that I wanted to breathe. And now I'm in a position where, you know, 11 years on, a bit grayer, as someone pointed out, a bit grayer, a bit wiser. You know, I have staff, I have vehicles, and I'm in a very blessed position. But I'm in a blessed position because I am persistent, because I am consistent, and because I have absolutely no problem in talking to anybody. So you've two choices. You can swipe off this video, or you can get off your ass and get to it. Get amongst it. It ain't coming to you. Rest is on you.